I love that intro music. I really, really do.
Yeah, me too. It's
Antonio
great.
College. Antonio College, thank you very much once again for that beat. It's episode 25 of 5 in Midfield, our top 5 list. I'm going to take this off now. It's a face mask, a top face mask, which you can, there you go, there, it's just there. You can purchase these if you send us a message on social media, and you can also get one of these swanky mugs as well. Anyway, I'm Gav Mack. That's Stephen Buck up there. How are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm Shalmeet, and down there is Alex Osborne. How are you?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, man. Very well. Now let's get the housekeeping out the way as always. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/2UpTopFootball. Make sure you download Soccer Manager 2021, available on the App Store and on Google Play Store. And did you know if you put 2 Up Top into Google, our name comes up first? Yes, it
I just have one question for you, Gav. Why should we download Soccer Manager 2021? What's the significance in that? Just so our viewers can understand.
Because it is the best handheld management sports game in the history of mankind. That is why. And it needs no further intro on that one, I would say. So on this episode of 5 Midfield, as I said, it's episode 25. We can firmly say that it is in safe hands. So for that reason, we are doing the best goalkeepers. So, Alex, before you go into your list, what is the background of your list?
So the background on my list, I decided to go with greatest goalkeepers of all time, or certainly before the modern era, if you want to call it that. But I've just decided to just call it greatest goalkeepers of all time.
Okay, lovely. Who's your number 5?
So number 5, right? So I mean, this one for me is a bit of a left field one if you want to look at it. But I've gone with Jose Chilavert.
Yeah, it's very left field because he's left-footed as well.
Exactly. But I mean, he was flamboyant as you could get as a goalkeeper, and he was very much all about the fancy saves for the camera. But not only that, he wore great goalkeeping kits, but he also, as I'm sure a lot of football fans will be aware of, he was very good at taking free kicks, penalties, and yeah, he was very much remembered not just for saving goals, but for scoring them as well.
Exactly. Who's your number 4?
So my number 4 is Gordon Banks, World Cup World Cup winner for England in the 1966 World Cup, and possibly the most legendary England goalkeeper you could have. I mean, there'd be 2 others you think you could argue that, but for me, it's probably Gordon Banks.
Yeah, and him or Joe Hart, to be fair. So yeah.
I mean, his career was probably derailed by that eye injury he got, which was very unfortunate for him. But before that, we can remember that not so much for the World Cup winner, but that save he had in the World Cup 1970 against Brazil. Where was it?
Scoop.
What a save, Gordon Banks, screamed the commentator, and everyone watching at home and in the stadium would agree with that.
Arguably the best save of all time?
Potentially. And I think a guy who is going to come up next would have an argument with that. And that would be Peter Schmeichel.
Oh, didn't he do the same save?
But it was very similar, wasn't it?
And David Seaman. All 3 of them did the same save.
Well, I don't know if David Seaman's was quite the same, but it was very, very similar, cat-like, preventing certain goals, wasn't it? But yeah, Peter Schmeichel, Man United fans would be more than familiar. Man United legend. He's won Premier League numerous times, won the Champions League with them. He's another one who could score the odd goal or 2 for a goalkeeper, you should say. And whenever you talk about one-on-one, we had that argument on Monday about Lacazette with Alisson. That was Peter Schmeichel's bread and butter, wasn't it? Making himself look imposing in front of the forward on Russian in goal, and usually came out on top on a 1v1 basis. So, yeah, Peter Schmeichel, legendary goalkeeper, definitely in the top 5.
And who's your number 2?
Number 2. Now, this one's a little bit naughty because he's still technically playing. I think he should have retired by now, but if that doesn't give it away, then it's Gianluigi Buffon. He went for, at the time, a world record fee for a goalkeeper. I think he was also a teenager, wasn't he? I think at the time
when he went
to Juventus, he signed them from Parma. He, the only thing that's missing from his glittering career is a Champions League win, a winner's medal. He's pretty much won everything else. He won the World Cup 2006, where he only conceded 2 goals en route to winning the final. He's still playing at 42. Okay, he's not as where he once was, but we can all agree what one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time.
I still think he is one of the greatest goalkeepers playing right now.
I think he's up there, and I think I can't see him winning a Champions League medal. Which is
I can when he's
because
52. When he's 52, he'll still be playing when he's 52, and he'll win it then.
No, he won't. He's already pawned himself over most of the major clubs that could win a Champions League trophy. If he doesn't want it now, he ain't gonna.
Who's top dollar? Who's your top saver?
So I think when you're talking about greatest goalkeepers of all time, and again, football fans throughout the world would recognise him. It's probably been putting goalkeepers on the map, and that's number one. That's Lev Yashin, who is to this day still the only goalkeeper to ever win the Ballon d'Or. Some other little stat for you here: he saved over 150 penalties throughout his professional career. Kept over 270 clean sheets, and he won FIFA's Goalkeeper of the Century award as well. So he is probably the grandfather or the founding member of goalkeepers, even though obviously he didn't start playing.
I think he was one of the
one who made goalkeepers cool, really.
Yeah, I think he was one of the first to utilise a quick long throw as well, which at the time was unusual for a goalkeeper. It was a new trick. Brilliant goalkeeper if you look back through the times.
Exactly, and I'd imagine he would be an influence on a lot of the goalkeepers on our lists coming up, and certainly in my list as well. And one more little fun fact about him: he worked as a locksmith before becoming a professional football player.
Do you know what?
Locked up the net, didn't he? He locked up his net.
There you go. Right. My top 5 is based on players that I saw growing up. So and the goalkeepers that stood out to me whilst growing up. So my number 5 is Shay Given. And Shay Given, I think, is probably one of the most underrated goalkeepers of all time.
I love Shay Given.
Man, honestly, it was sick of Newcastle. Newcastle were actually half a decent side then as well. They were playing Champions League football and stuff. And, he should have... It was difficult for him to move because there were so many decent goalkeepers at the time elsewhere. He couldn't have gone to anywhere else almost. But personally, I think Man United should have gone in for him before someone else who turns up in my list does. Number 4, I love Italian football, so it has to have an Italian-based goalkeeper in it, but not what everyone thinks. And I've gone with Sebastian Frey. And Seb Frey, if it wasn't for injury, would be arguably the best goalkeeper. Because every game he did play, he made himself apparent. He made himself big. He made regular decent saves at all the time. When he conceded the goal, there was nothing that he could have done about it. So for me, here's my number 4. Number 3 is Andoni Zubizarreta. And I remember one of my earliest memories of football really is World Cup '94, and I felt sorry for him because Spain have always gone through that period, haven't they, where they're always the nearly men, aren't they?
Yeah, and they had that reputation for a long time. Time as being they could be good, but they just don't quite get it right.
Yeah, they might win it this year, and then they mess it up. But it's nothing to do with the goalkeeper. His record at club level as well. I think he won 8 league titles. Won a number with Barcelona where he really made his name. But prior to that, he is Basque, so he won 3 league titles at Athletic Bilbao. What a goalkeeper!
And according to my research, it could be wrong by now, but apparently he also holds La Liga appearance record as well.
I believe he does, or he did up until quite recently, at least. Anyway, so and you don't get that unless you're a little bit good. That's what as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's it.
Number 2, one of my favourite goalkeepers of all time is Edwin van der Sar. Made his name at Ajax. Came over to the Premier League after going to Juventus as well. He went to Juve, and he's won a couple of Champions Leagues. He went to Fulham. And was like, well done, Fulham. You've just signed a has-been. It's the end of his career, but it's still a bit of a coup. And then he turns up at Man United and turns into.
And he goes and wins another Champions League medal.
Yeah, exactly. And multiple league titles as well. Van der Sar.
And I've got a little stat for you on Edwin van der Sar. Apparently, he once went 1,311 minutes without conceding a single goal, which still stands as a world record to this day.
Wow.
Very tidy. Very, very tidy.
So with all those up to number 2, who on earth is number 1?
Massimo Taibbi. Massimo Taibbi. Honestly, he was he got the short end of the stick when he was at Man United. Wonderful goal kick. Nah, I'm joking with you boys. Come on, man. It's Oliver Kahn, isn't it?
Oh my God! Thank God you rescued that one.
You sold that longer than you should have done.
Oh,
you actually sold that longer than you should have done.
I was going to go in. I was going to go all the way. Oh God. Yeah. Oliver Kahn. It needs nothing more to say. Oliver Kahn is, in my eyes, the best goalkeeper of my lifetime.
I remember watching Oliver Kahn Euro '96, I think it was. And even then, they were talking about a goalkeeper that was coming towards the end of his career, and he just seemed invincible.
It might have been
everything you can imagine.
I think it's a bit later than that. It would have been 98 or 2000, because 1996 was Andreas Kopka, and I don't understand how he got the head. Bearing in mind, they also had Bodo Illner as well, who won a Champions League with Real Madrid and has won multiple titles domestically as well. I would have thought that Bodo Illner would have been number 2 behind Oliver Kahn, but it was Andreas Kopka who was running it, and I don't understand how. Is what it is.
It's quite scary to look at Oliver Kahn as well. Like when you look at him with the ball, shouting at his teammates, shouting at his defence. He's quite an imposing, scary character. The last thing I want to be is a centre back standing in front of him.
100%. I want to be a centre forward trying to get one past him. Right, Buck. Your top 5. What's your reasoning behind your top 5?
Okay, so I'm looking at current top 5 goalkeepers in the world.
Okay.
So modern day keepers, and obviously goalkeeping has changed over the years. You know, the old way of being a goalkeeper, where it was just about shot stopping, catching a ball, and hoofing it if it came anywhere near your 6-yard box. That's gone. We are now in a world whereby your goalkeepers really have got to start to be defensive midfielders. Oh, and they need to catch a ball too. So
yeah.
There's a few goalkeepers that are really good that I've discounted from the list because they can't quite hit both of those molds. So we're going to start with number 5, which is Thibaut Courtois. People that have watched the Prem obviously know him from his Chelsea days, and then he moved over to Real Madrid. He had a bit of a rocky start at Madrid, but he's now really starting to come into his own. He's looking a really solid keeper now. Good with his feet, good with his hands. He's got many years left in the tank. He's going to be a big keeper for a long time to come.
Definitely, yeah. That rocky period, I think people will end up discounting you on that, on putting him in the top 5, because they'll just hone on that alone. Whereas
it wasn't that long, and it takes time.
Yeah. Look at his time
to move from Chelsea. Chelsea is a big club, but to move from Chelsea and move over to Real Madrid, that's a huge monumental shift in the characters that you got around the dressing room and the expectations there are of you, along with the pressures. There's many a big name that have gone to Real Madrid and really struggled to adapt and has taken some time. So, you know what? He will put all those doubts to rest. He deserves to be in the top 5. Yeah,
man. Who's your number 4?
Number 4, I've gone for Alisson, the steady keeper over at Liverpool. I really rate him. I really do like him. I think more than Virgil van Dijk, I think Alisson was the key signing for Liverpool in turning him into title winners.
Wow.
I think he made a massive, massive, massive impact in communication, leadership, and reliability in the sticks. The goalkeepers that I had beforehand just were not up to it. We've all seen, various people try. Alisson is a different kettle of fish.
You don't win big trophies with bad goalkeepers. Simple.
No, you don't. You need a solid back line. You need a good keeper. And you need leaders on the pitch. And he is a natural leader, and he's a very, very, very good goalkeeper.
Yeah, relatively handsome as well. Who's your number 3?
Keylor Navas.
Keylor Navas. Interesting.
He is. But again, it's a goalkeeper that's really good with his feet. Very good shot stopper. And actually, and out of his top 5, he's probably one of those that people don't really give as much credit to him to what to his ability levels and what he actually achieves.
What do you think, K-Dog?
I'm surprised at that one, to be honest with you. but I can see why you've stuck it in. I remember, was it he had that game, didn't he, playing for Chile? Was it the World Cup? Or it was an international tournament, and then Real Madrid pretty much signed him off the back of that, didn't they? I know he was already playing in La Liga at that time, but that really brought him to everyone's attention, or certainly Real Madrid's attention. So, and he was certainly their number one goalkeeper when they won a couple of Champions Leagues as well, didn't they?
Yes.
So I mean, you don't win a Champions League if your goalkeeper is certainly not poor. So yeah, well,
Exactly.
I can see why you included him, but I am surprised that you have.
So number 2, another slight surprise, and I've gone for a German goalkeeper, and everyone's going to be shouting at Manuel Neuer. No.
Oh.
And it's not Manuel Neuer. No. It's Ter Stegen. Now, I get it. So it's a little bit controversial because he's the only one in this list that doesn't start for his country.
Ter Stegen's G, though, man. Come on.
In his current ability levels and his current form, he's better than Manuel Neuer. Historically, Neuer was probably the better goalkeeper, and he still starts for his country and gets the nod for that. But I think most of that is down to name and what they've done before, as well as the relationships he's had with the national team. But Ter Stegen is an absolutely top draw goalkeeper.
Phenomenal keeper. Phenomenal keeper. I think he is. Yeah, I would put him as the second best goalkeeper in the world right now. So
yeah,
I can't argue.
Yeah, he's definitely there. No, I don't know why. I've got this feeling he's quite small for a goalkeeper. Is he? I don't know. Maybe that's just me being like used to like 6'5" goalkeepers, but I swear he's quite small, isn't he?
Well, everyone to me.
I've never measured him.
Everyone to me is tall, so it makes.
Yeah, I know. You are our little Frodo, really, aren't you?
I know. He's 6'2", 6'3".
Okay, so he's not as tiny, but he's not like he's not some of the other guys like Courtois, isn't he? Like 6'7", isn't he? He's a giant. Yeah.
Who's number one then, Bucko?
Number 1. There could only be one number 1, and that is Jan.
Emi Martinez. Oh no. Okay, sorry.
Jan Oblak.
Mate,
right.
He will be GOAT. End of his career.
Right. Number 1.
That's it, isn't it?
Number 1.
I don't need
to justify it.
I don't think anyone can argue with our number ones at all. Lev Yashin, Jan Oblak, and Oliver Kahn. I don't think anyone can argue with that. You could try by going to our Twitter page at Top Football. Search us on all social media platforms at Top Football. You subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, if you could. It'd be wonderful if you could. And that is going to be on the screen right about now. So that's youtube.com/Top Football, and make sure you download Soccer Manager 2021. It's available now on the App Store and on Google Play Store.
Oh, but Gav, did you know? If you go to Google and you put our name in and type in 2 Up Top Football, did you know we come up first?
You don't even have to put all that in. You literally put 2 space up space, and I think it comes up then. You start writing the T, and that's it. Honestly, it works. Try it at home, boys and girls. But from ourselves, I'm Gav Mack, that's Stephen Buck, and that's Alex Osborne. Thank you.
Cheerio.
Gute Nacht.